Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another YouTube tutorial guide. In today's video, we're going to be covering TvP 3cc. This is a slightly older variation of 3cc. It was a little bit more popular in 2019. That's just because Mine Drop was really popular in 2019. It's still completely viable, it's just there's other builds we use now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all the support I've been getting in my videos. I really appreciate all the nice comments and just subscriptions, things like that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for not being overly critical as well. I'm not the strongest mechanical player, but I do know some builds and I hope I can share them with you. Anyways, continuing on, this build is a racks then gas build. Feel free to scout around 18 supply, or at least that's when I like to scout with an SCV. Populate your gas geyser. So something I really like about this build is the strong economic focus of the build. It lets you just max out so fast, and you get to hit such a crisp 1-1 timing as well as a really crisp 2-2 timing right around 10 minutes. I would say that the follow-up to this build is quite strong. So here we just have a standard Reaper FE, Reaper orbital expand. Followed up with the depot, and that SCV is going to rally down, and it's going to make a bunker in a minute, as soon as it finishes with the depot. Rally the first SCV that comes out of the orbital to go build a factory. I like to place it slightly in a more protected location in case of blink stalkers. The reason is because blink stalkers could snipe that add-on, and that add-on could be creating stim, for example. So you don't want to make it close to the edge of your base. Bunker, reactor gas. Obviously scout around with the Reaper, try to get as much information as you can. If it's cyber first, you may not be able to get into the main right away to get a perfect scout. You'll just have to play patient and see what information you can get. This build doesn't get a Hellion, although I suppose you could. So it's a little bit harder to scout with than other builds. However, the Mine Drop provides really good scouting. Start up a mine. Actually, sorry, start up a starport first, then 2 Marines in a mine. As soon as this orbital command center finishes, we want to get a depot right away. Start up another widow mine. As soon as that starport finishes, get a medivac. Once you've got about 3 to 4 guys in your bunker, you don't need to keep sending people down or Marines down. You can just kind of rally them by the ramp. Get a tech lab once your widow mines are finished. Right around 4 minutes, kind of around the same time that your medevac pops, you're going to want to get that 3rd CC. You can either just build a tech lab right on the starport, or you can add-on swap and have the factory build another tech lab, which is what I do this game. Really, the variations are just up to you. Start up a Raven, get a tech lab. Right around 4:30, you want to pull up 2 SCVs to build your barracks. It's about this time though that your medevac will arrive and you're ready to go mine drop, see if you have an opening or not. Obviously this is the easy AI, so I take the opportunity. Okay, and right around 4:50, maybe even a bit earlier, you want to get your double gas. and follow it up with 2 engineering bays right before 5 minutes. The sooner you get them, the sooner you can hit your timing. If you can get those Engi bays around 450, I think it's best. Forgot to mention that as soon as that tech lab finishes, you want to start up a cyclone. You could go tanks as well. I think tanks are cumbersome and they don't help it with the timing very much because, you know, tanks aren't that great. Go ahead and transfer SCVs over. And send your army down to your third. Start up 2 medivacs as soon as you can. Keep that depot production constant. Okay, when your upgrades are about halfway, that's when you want to get your armory. After you start 2 medivacs, start up 2 widow mines. Around 640, get 2 more barracks. And now that it's about 6:45, it's time to go. Make sure you bring those mines and medivacs along with your push. Obviously the medivacs are going to come out slowly, so you just boost them across. They'll catch up with the army. It's not a big deal. And once all your upgrades are finished, feel free to go for that timing. Mine are just about to complete. I think I left about 2 marauders at home. I think you want to bring them with the push. Anyways, as soon as you can, start up that +2/+2. Saturate your gases. And here's where I feel like the biggest advantage of the build comes is how strong we get our 4th base and how strong our 2-2 is along with our follow-up. So for the follow-up transition, we're going to go 5 ghosts and about 6 to 8 vikings, depending on how heavy they go into Colossus. So as soon as you started your 2-2, you can start up that Ghost Academy. I'm already beginning Viking production. I cut at 4 medivacs. You could stop at 6 medivacs and then go into Vikings. It's kind of up to you. You want about 4 to 6. 6 is better, obviously, but to hit this timing, I found I needed to cut at 4. Because we just max out so fast. Start up that enhanced shockwave. It's so good. It's such a good upgrade for those of you who've used it before. And I know that this army may seem kind of complex, especially if you've never used it before, but it really is the strongest kind of timing you can hit versus Protoss. Get your 8 racks as soon as minerals allow. In a real game, you're not as likely to max out as fast as I am because you've probably traded a bit with Protoss. But realistically, you could still be pretty close to max by 10 minutes. Depending on how aggressive you are. And how good you are at unit conservation. So if you notice, I've been producing ghosts, and I'll make up to 5. You really don't want more than that at a time. You'll see sometimes people accidentally make like 10. Like, that's too many. You just don't need that many ghosts. 5 is a really good number. 6 to 8 is a really good Viking number. Tips for controlling the army. I would say that you want to keep the air army on its own hotkey. Maybe your Raven is still alive at this time. Usually it's not. That complicates things if you still have your Raven alive, so I wouldn't have it in the main army group at all. It's too much tabbing. The best thing you can do for the main army group, though, is tab then stim. and then go back to the army group, and you have your EMPs. You can keep the ghosts on their own hotkey, but also in the main army. I just think it's important to have the air army in its own hotkey. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.